listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Lakshmi, Natajan Sharani, you mentioned right. Tell me the report name. It's a demo. Advanced. Demo advanced. The calculated field one. I just made a copy of the previous one, sir. Couldn't change any. You are saying you are just getting just one record. 9 records only. Just 9 records in that. Only one with date of birth. Rest all. No date of birth. I mean, that's fine. Let me run this report. Are you passing something? No, the filter. I use that like a gender student. One is 8 times. And then you checked with the second user detail and it shouldn't have a date of birth. The field is empty. Yes, I mean that report is giving correct value. That's fine. But let's see why you are letting your request. I am reporting. This is fine. In filter you have given a gender, not in the selection list you have given. Oh, that's why it's giving. Some. I checked, but I didn't check the gender. See, you're getting. Very silly mistake. I don't know why. Like I was like, and it was slow. That's why. And I checked with these two values. The high data and data. What you do right. If you select it, and if you don't select that, check right. Like only. There is only one number difference. I saw like when I use that. See, it's really is what happens. Let's say, the difference is 1 year. 10 months. Basically, we are just ignoring this statement. This will become only 1 year, right? If you include this, and if you are considering it, then it's approximately 2 years. Basically, if you remove this is 1.75, right? 1.75 or 1.8 something. I mean the difference will be. Just one number only. And one more thing, like when I did like in my calculator, when I did that, just a year difference. Some of them are like when we select that option right. Which one? Can you open that calculated field? This calculated is the data difference. The bottom one. when this one is ignored, lower level date components right. In that case, when we select this one a yes, right, some of them have an accurate value like 39 years or 32 years. That value, it comes in that when we checked it and the point 9 or point something, that value comes in the without checking, selecting that value in that this one, the first one. I mean, see, the thing is like, it's a kind of, running off. If there is some more, a little difference, it was like, 1.7, 1.8, something like that is giving you 2. But if you do not check that, it's just ignoring up. Whatever there is after decimal is ignoring everything. Basically, it will give 1. Suddenly yesterday did you try by not right? Taking that difference is very small. Let's say here, 30 point, 32 point something. Then also, it is giving 33. No, that's why I'm telling like yesterday, I tried all the options. If it's like 39, 39 points, the value comes in the first one without checking that option. And the accurate value will come into the other one. Like 32, you will get in the without taking that option and get it. Basically, if there is any portion after, if this is the whole number, the exact difference after the exact difference, whatever numbers, if there is any person left, if you take that checkbook, it is increasing that value by 1. And if there is, if you do not check that, then it is simply ignoring this. We know this decimal part. That's how we know this. This calculated will works. And one more thing I observed, that if we select like a month or day, or the only difference is like somewhere, it's only a difference of 1. If you go for a month or again, if the difference is in month, then also it would be like same everywhere is the same. Logic might be. Any other question? I have question. Can you please open my thing, my report? Watch me. Lucky underscore. Sometimes this tenant works. Only this one. The last one I have questioning. In this I tried that format date and convert into the text to the number these. Can you please run this report? Tell me. Yes, this field is the right city. And I mean convert text to the number. I'm getting to the end, but I tried to convert this one here. The previous field like a higher date. They did this? Let's guess. Let me open this report. And when I am trying to open a new tab, it's asking again to connect to the Workday for you. It's not working like that. You also have this remote desktop, is it? Then ideally it should work like saying, that's weird. Every time I open 3 windows and I'm doing calculated field in one field, one window, and I mean not window, I am one page and this one. Generally it doesn't ask. I mean, I have used many Workday tenants. Generally, we work like this only, right? I mean, if you click on any item and just open it, you should come another. It should open another page. But I will open in front of you. I'll just open once after this. Here, let me see. I mean, the date, the field which you have used. There, the format is here. This is also a question for me. This was not done by me actually. Can you open the report once? See first in this report this field, which you have created. Here, this is the sorry. This is the city and is a field. This city and is the field here. You have used this field again. I too. If you open, then here, the format is here. That's why you're getting only here. No. One question. Open this one. Open my report once. Then one. This is a run version. This one. See the first one. I mean after the date of birth. There is another column here. Actually, my actual one is here. This one. But this is not coming in the format what I'm looking for. I actually asked for Jan, kind like 3. That is already a text. That is already a text. You know you can't convert it into another number. Right. See, this is already a text. You need to convert. This text you want to convert in a number, is it? No. That's what. But here also this is not coming in the format. What I am asking. See, it should give as a Jan or 3-letter text, right? That's what. Let me tell you the reason of that. Let me get this. It's good. You guys are practicing this. Let me tell you now why that is not happening. See here you have given triple N double D for 1. You are expecting Gem PABS, something kind of thing. Exact. Here if you click, if you just keep the mouse here. See the month is M is captioned. You're using small m. Small m means Meena. See here in the lower part there is a small m. That small m donates to a minute in hours to minute in hours. Minute in hours. Oh, that's why it's giving 0. I opened this box. I checked the triple M is 3-letter month name. That's why intentionally I gave that number. Letter. But unfortunately now see the lowercase, the uppercase. Now I understand what you are now. See, I just modified that. And then you will be able to see the current format. Whatever you were trying to do. See here. Exactly. But for this field, the one is FD. Hi DD. That field actually I didn't do. I just got from somebody's and I tried to do. But they only give Jan, but they got everything like here. They only give a year right in the field. But they got everything like 1 Jan 2000. Why that happens? Which one? Lakshmi, this one, that one. It should supposed to give only 2000, right? That one. The next one. The next one. This is giving 2000. This is correct because this is supposed to be 2000. Previous one. Previous one. This one. Let me open this one as well. This one. This I didn't do, but I just tried somebody's and added to this. It's simple. Basically, we know you. Can you debug this? You show me one only year, right? Which one it is that? That's the difference here. There are two-phase CFD, ID, and the field which has been used here. This field. These two fields are different. This is a different field. ID, DD, MMI, and these two fields are different. You use in the convert text to number. You use this field. That is why you got here. I understand. I'm using the wrong one. Exactly. You can debug all these things by yourself. Open open this calculated field in a new lab. When you will open, then it will show you what format is there in that calculated field. I tried in that way also, but somehow I may be the slow tenant. I couldn't be able to connect that in that minute. Now I got it. All good. Now, do you have anything? Look, you're there, right? Oh, look that. Kana is there basically. Yesterday we discussed about the another constant traits. I think the numeric constant and then the text constant. We discussed yesterday. Now today let's start new calculator. What are all the calculator will be discussed and anyone mention the name. Yes, far we have completed it. That's right. You're asking. What are all the calculated fields we completed? We did date difference. Date difference. Numeric constant and text constant. Or a match date numeric constant. Then text. Substring. Substring text. Yes, upstream is enough, I think. Concatenation we did, but let me check you. Convert text to number, right? Now then we also covered increments and decrements. What is? Let me check with the format date. We mentioned the difference. We mentioned numeric constant. Excellent. Also, we discussed right. Now, today we will start with the evaluating conditions. Another calculated fields. Evaluating condition. There is one question. Yes, go on. When we will do that automatic calculation one for me, I was like, why all these are there? That's why I like. And we already did the numeric all of them. And that's only left. That's why I'm asking you that. Now there are total 32 calculated field functions. I mean, it's a lot of things left right now. Let me show you. Meanwhile, people make there's actually, let me show you this one. Meanwhile, then we'll see the next one. Arithmetic calculations. You know you need to choose a function arithmetic calculation here. The field type is numeric. Let's see what are other field types. You have currency and numeric. Now rounding off. If you want to do round off, then you can do it on the round off. Then return on 0. Here, what I want to do is I want to calculate the monthly salary. Here, what I'll do is total base pay. Total base pay analyzed amount. Then operator. I'll choose every word. Operators divide. Sorry. Click. Then you just add this in the report. Yes, let me add there. Just like the end is slowing down. But let me, she had some internet issues. Since that's very, I think she is. She is a meeting. That's fine. She is doing practice well. Total base pay. Total base pay. I use analyze, right? Analyzed. This one I selected there. Now let's see the difference. And it's super slow, to be honest. I have never worked on this much of slow. The same thing happening here. No, people will start learning on this and then they will get frustrated. They will think like, they choose something else. But in real time, it's not the case. You know what is a booming technology. You just need to keep the patience and then you will get many good things. This is for a setting, to be honest, but still. This is the option. See, people are struggling to get work, get in and learn. And then you can hurt because nobody will offer you work. It's really hard to get work that in, and for learning you can without work, that in only theoretical part would not be enough. See here, you are not solving it. Is it actually? I'm looking for it. See Shalini here. This is the field. Now I did arithmetic calculation. This is the arithmetic calculation calculated field where I have divided this value by 12. And see, this is the actual value. This is the calculated field which has divided the value by 12. And this is giving me this output. There is not much in arithmetic calculation. Can you edit this one and see the rounding one? Yes. Sure. I'll do that. Running up to. Here you have to give. I was like, my question is how to why they are putting all these options. What is that rounding it? It's like after point they are converting into that value into like a proper. No. See, this is general math. General math in the sense of this is general math. Basically, earlier in a school is what we were doing. Let's say if you are adding or multiplying or dividing something, then we were asked to do it on the off. When we got the round off requirements, there they were saying I want to round off to 2 decimal places to 3 decimal places. Right? It's kind of that thing only. And I wanted to know why they like this much around, round down, all the like. You can try this thing. Instead of 12, you use some number like 7. You divide this, this total base by 7. 7 will give you a lot of decimal places, right? When you will divide by 7, then you try a couple of options, like which option is running in which way. You try that and you explore that, and this is a simple math, but you should be having an idea what is, which option is running in which way. You just try, point 1, then you're I mean, you're good now, right? Y is like rounding. It's like it's too many rounding values, right? I was like, why these are like what the options? No, I mean they just were, give. They were giving like, rounding up to do that. Decimal, 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 decimal. Here, you know the same thing. You know this Workday calculated wheel function is giving us the options. Thank you. No worries. Any other questions? Based on the actual value, the number if it is 990, then we'll round up to 10. Something like that. See it was it is. It's like, less than 90.5. You're running that. If you need to round off that value in a whole number, then what you do is you do that as 91. If 90.5 is equal to 91, let me note it down there. 90.5. If you want to round off in a whole number, it will simply become 91. Sorry, right? But if, let's say you have 90.5, do you want to keep one place after decimal? And you want to round off this number. There it will become 90.5. That will be, do is less. If this is 90.57, then it will become 90.6. These are the formatting options, if you don't want any decimal places, you just want to round off and get the whole number. And you will be having option. If you want to keep one number of decimal, then you will be having options. You can just try those options. Not all the options. Just try a couple of options where it is given like in a whole number, then hundreds, and point 1 and point 100. Those kind of things. 4 to 5. You just do practice and then and I'll say like, you just copy calculated field, multiple calculated field. Just give the name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just add all those in one, once in a report and then run the report. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. Then it is taking a lot of time. And by the time we run the report, it's suddenly in a blink of an eye. It's gone. I don't know where it is going. I understand. I am struggling also. Now the evaluating conditions. Let's go to the next one. Evaluating conditions. Evaluating conditions means basically, let's say, you need to define the unit to get something like this. Whether if gender is email, sorry, gender is me. You want to send value as in if gender is female. You want to send value as there. And if these are not satisfying, then you need to send not declared or not known, something like that. And we know this. These are the conditional things. Basically, now you have to derive. There are many things. Let's say if there are things in the system, for example, nowadays in each and every company is giving some sort of, mentor and mentor leave. Mentor leaves. Mentor leaves are mostly for females. Mostly, not mostly for females only. There, we know those are the places, when anyone creates a new kind of leave or time off, for those kind of things, then they have to check the condition, right? Like whether the worker is male or female. Not in that case. In many places, you will say like you need to check the conditions. If the condition is this, then same value is this. If the condition is this, then the same value is this. Now, if you need to define those things, create those things using multiple conditions. If you have to send one value for each worker, then you are going to use this evaluating condition concept. There are a couple of functions we have in Berkeley in calculated field, that is, evaluate expression. Then, we have evaluate expression band. But these are the functions generally used to check multiple conditions inside the calculated field and generate one particular value. For example, another example you can consider in this way. If the location is in Australia, then send a US. Then send country code as a US. If location is India, then send country as India. If location is the USA, then send country code as USA. If those kind of situations come, there you are going to create evaluating conditions, calculated field, and the tool. For the two major functions we have in calculated field is evaluate expression and evaluate expression band. Then we have lookup, range band as well. Three calculated field functions. We will look into all those things like what exactly all those functions are and how that works. To use those functions, we need to understand, couple of things. Yesterday we discussed, text constant. Yesterday, we discussed, text constant, numeric constant. And today we discussed one more arithmetic. For evaluating conditions, we know you need to define conditions. Define condition. How can you define condition using a calculated field? We have one conditional calculated function, that is true. If you want to check whether the worker, the employee is male or female, you can use this also. Function in calculated field and the conditions will be. You can use that condition. Now, when you check the condition, let's say you want to send some numeric constant value or takes constant value. For example, if the worker is male, you want to send a constant value m, takes constant value m. If the worker is female, then you want to send the constant value that takes constant value as f, otherwise u. Here let's see how exactly this works. Let's go to create calculated field. CRPF workers male. On worker. Our business, object I'm giving as worker. The function is true. First condition. Here I go. I'll use the gender field because I need to check my gender, whether the worker is male or female. Why gender is a number? Maybe someone has created. This should be calculated. Evaluate expression. This is the actual delivered. I'm using the delivered field. Then here in the operator. This operator, you need to understand like what are the operators you can see. It is a single instance. And here if I click on operators, there are many options. All the options are easily understandable. Whether you want to achieve, whether it's empty, not empty in the selection is not in the selection list. Those are simple ones. Here I'm checking in the selection list. Then here if a worker is male. No. Here I'll just give male. And now this condition has been created. If you see this calculated, we'll see this is a Boolean calculated. Now there you can see two false icons. This is true. False icon is saying this is a Boolean calculated field. Now you can just copy this calculated field and create one for female as well. Calculated field. TFT worker is female. And here instead of male, just give the female. Now let me add this toe. And that may not be. Now for Boolean fields and custom report, we'll get just as a value. You will not get no by default. Let me show you. I think we discussed this in the reporting part as well. But let me show you what I'm. Use the filter which I have already configured. See, here it is. There are two flags I have set. This worker is male. This worker is, male. This worker, Teresa, is female. It is coming. By default, no will not come, only whichever is satisfied. Whichever will satisfy the condition for those only. We know this report will return the value. Now, if you want, we know. And yes, it's already coming. Now, if you want, if there is a blank value, you won't know, then you will be having another option in the report. Here, if you click, then just click on valid options. Here the valid options you will get, show no when polls. Similarly, show no when polls. There you will get no yes or no. The purpose of calculated will you understood, like to check the condition with the worker's gender when the worker's gender is male or female. That is something you will be able to do using, if you want to take any condition for any worker, whether the worker is satisfying the eligibility or not, then you need to use the true polls. Calculated will function. Now if I run, it will show you both yes and no. See, yes, this worker is male. You know whether this worker is male. Yes, yes, no. Is this female? Then This is how we know true poles. Calculated will function in our works. There are very wider use of this. True poles calculated will function. Here in the report I just define one eligibility, whether worker is male or female. That's what I tried. But let's say you need to build multiple integration, multiple conditions. And based on those conditions, you want to generate some values. There in those calculated bills also this true poles calculated will come. Also not here in the report or in the calculated bills. Even if you need to check some condition in the business process or in the integration or in the functional configuration everywhere. This true poles calculated will come. Do you have any question? In true poles calculated will function. It's quite easy. But if you have any question, you can just now let's move to the next one. Now we have another calculated bill. Calculated bill that is constant, date constant. Let's see what is that constant bill. This date constant, let's say, I want to define 01 2024 on global. Here you can simply, if you want to define, there are some constant date or constant date and time, or constant date and time. Then you are having one function that is called date constant. There you can simply, just mention what date you want. I want 1st of July 2024. The month will be 7. The date will be 01 2024. It's pretty much simple. If you want to define your date and time, then you can just fill details here. You'll get, oh come on. This is the problem. See if that constant test was July 2024 global. That constantly. And you just define 07 2024. Click. And your date, constant date is created. If you print this date in the report, you will get as 001 2024. This is what we call date constant. I'm not going to add right now. It's already. It will take unnecessary time. But this is how we know this is created. You can do that by adding that in the custom report. We'll add. When we will get another calculated with that. We will add together and we'll see. Date constant is and triple condition is done. Now let's come to evaluate condition. Evaluate expression. Now we have one conditional based calculated field. The conditional based calculated field we call as evaluate expression. See if you have. Well, it goes. Then the mapping on worker. Then worker. They evaluate. Here, you know what will they? You want to know you. Basically, we are working on gender. Let's use single instance. Business object is worker only. I just want to get on the same name. Or if, let's do this, one is fixed. Default value is not. No. Now here in this calculated, if you see, there are many options here. The first of all, this field type, you know what kind of field you want to create. If you want to create a text type of field, you need to just mention text. You can also create a type of field single instance, multi-instance. There are many other options. We are going to do some activities on this one. This evaluate expression. This one is actually the major one. This is the business object. If you use single instance, multi-instance, then you need to define business object. From which business object you're referring to the field. That is something we will see in the next example. Then there is, one value in a one field, default value. Let's say here, what actually happens in this case. Let me show give you the examples. What you want to do is you just want one calculated field. One can pull it that will give the gender value map. Gender value map, as in if gender is male. The value should be written as M if gender is female. The value should be returned as an AND, apart from if there is any other gender, cannot declare anything. Then it should give not declared or less. I know you just want, you just give you. This is a conditional based thing. Here you have to design one calculated field. That calculated field work for all the male, female, whatever people are there in the company. And we know this calculated field should evaluate whether the gender value should be M or F or U for the worker. Here we will define all those conditions here. And based on that, we will define M or F as well. This is the place where you need to define the conditions. The first condition, let's say, I have used here. You can create calculated field from here also, but I have already created a field for male and to identify male and female. I'm going to use that. Work is male. This is a true-false condition. It is coming. And then here I will see if there is any constant. If not, then I need to see if letter M. This is what this one is constant. See if letter M. I'm going to use this. Then another condition which I want to mention here is like CFDF. Worker is female. worker is female. Then let's say we have one constant. This is a text constant. You can just open this page and you will be able to see what is this. If you have any doubt whether I have the correct value or not, you can open that in. You see this is a text constant. Here, what is happening whenever you know this calculated will be called for any worker or any record. What it will do is initially, this calculated field will take the very first condition. This condition. If the condition for workers, if the first condition for the worker is satisfied, then it will simply bring the letter M and this calculated will be dominated. Just it will give the value N and no further processing will happen. Now let's say, for female workers, when this calculated field will run, in that case, this condition will be executed first. This is when this condition will be checked. And if it is not getting satisfied, it won't go here. It won't do anything. Instead, it will go to the next condition. In the second condition, we can see, the worker is female. Here, if the condition is satisfied, then it will bring the value. If you know whatever you have defined here. Now let's say you have mentioned two conditions and none of the conditions are getting satisfied. The first one is not satisfied. The second one is not satisfied. If all the conditions are not satisfied in this calculated field, then the execution will go directly to the default value. If these two conditions are not satisfied in this calculated field, then the execution will flow to the default value and it will print the default value, whatever you have configured. Let's see what is happening in this case. Click. Here is a I created a constant bill. I'm just adding that as well in the report. Click. See here, it is giving him. If someone has not declared the gender, this will give the default value. I think everyone has declared the gender. That's why it's coming as M and F only. But you can say if you can just remove gender from one of the worker. And you can just say what exactly is coming. That default value will come there. And this one is another, which I have created a date constant. That is 1st of July 2024. See that date constant is coming. Any question on this evaluate expression as of now, whatever we discussed? Did you understand? When exactly this can be used? What is the use of this evaluate expression? But you need to do practice a lot on this. Evaluate expression. That's right. That is the reason I'm not answering very fast. But I want to practice listen one more time. And if I practice, then I'm getting that point. Here I have used only text type. Let's say you need to. Derive something like dated. I mean, there is one activity you can try. I'm just giving you. What you need to give is if worker is active. You need to check condition if worker is active. Then print today's date. If worker is terminated, then print termination data. And if worker is future hire, print future hire effective future hiring. This one is activity. Activity is like this one. You can try this at your home. If worker is active, get today's date. If worker is terminated, let's say not today's date, let's say hired. If worker is terminated, then get termination date. If worker is future hired, you need to give us future hired. Future hired. And if now the condition satisfy, which is not possible in this case, that will be today's date. Just try this one. Try to evaluate the expression for this one. This will be the problem. Just testing this in the chat as well. The earlier assignment which I have given. Did you complete all those assignments? Yes, Ganesha. Then I'll create another set of assignments. You were saying something like sorry, Charlene. Today we have discussed this arithmetic calculation, proof of date, consent, evaluate expression. In the evaluate expression, we will keep discussing. We will get multiple situations where we are going to discuss the evaluate conditions, evaluate expression. And then the next thing is, you need to understand the calculation hierarchy. For example, here in this evaluate calculated, if you just go to the related action. If you go to related action, click on calculated, you will see there is new calculation hierarchy. You can just click on this view calculation hierarchy and then you will be able to see where exactly what calculated field, what logic, what field has been used. Let's see this calculation hierarchy. You can derive this. You can visualize the calculation hierarchy as well. See, this is the master calculated field, the one major main calculated field which I have created, and that calculated field contains two more calculated fields. Two more calculation. That's a true first calculated field. You just click on this, first calculated field, and it will give you what exactly you have done here. Here, you have checked whether gender is. Then this male or gender is male. And then you have another calculated field where you are checking gender is female. You will be able to visualize this calculation hierarchy using this option. Just go to the related action of calculated field. Go to calculated field, then view calculation hierarchy. When you will click on view calculation hierarchy, you will see which one is the main calculated field and inside that calculated field, how many calculated fields have been used. You know how many calculated fields have been created and used. And in all those calculated fields, what field have been used. For example, here, if you see this one is calculated in this calculated field, you have used gender, and that gender is a report field which is giving you here. And then we have used, constant fields as well. That is something you will be able to see here. These are the constant fields. It's mentioned here. Which one is the report field? Which one is constant field? That is what is mentioned here. If you want to analyze calculation hierarchy of any calculated field, you will be able to do using this thing. Just give me a minute. Do we get your contact number, Ganesh, or no? No, that's fine, Lakshmi. You can message them and they will message me. That's why they're not allowing us to share any kind of content. That's fine. We know all good. You can connect anytime with me. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.